Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is from Sierra Nevada. This is their 40 Hoppy Anniversary Ale. It is their 40th anniversary IPA, West Coast style IPA, 6% alcohol, 65 IBUs. Sierra Nevada was established back in 1980. It is 2020, so 40. 40 years, one of the big three, Sierra Nevada, Anchor, and Samuel Adams. Okay, I have not had this beer before. This particular bottle was packaged on December 19th of 2019, so not super fresh, but it should be fine. It's just middle of March now, so I think it'll be just fine. If anything, I might enjoy it a little bit more because I'm not a huge fan of West Coast IPAs. Very piney, very bitter, sort of one-dimensional in my personal opinion. I like a more balanced beer. But let's see what we've got here. I'll do my best to be fair and rate according to style. So let's see what we've got. There's your pour. All right. Nice one finger white frothy head. A lot of little fine particulate matter floating about. It just looks like there's dust all in this beer floating around. No really big chunks or anything like that, but a lot of fine particulate matter. Some nice streaming bubbles going up the glass. The head, as you can see, is kind of dying down pretty rapidly. The aroma, as soon as I started to pour it, I picked up on those West Coast hop notes, the piney notes. A little bit of the caramel coming through, caramel malt. Touch of citrus in there as well, maybe some grapefruit, a little bit of orange. But a lot of the piney notes on the aroma with just that little bit of caramel malt action. That's pretty much all I'm getting. It's pretty straightforward on the aroma, 6.5%. It doesn't, or no, 65 IBUs. Doesn't really smell as hoppy as I thought it would be, and it's not old enough to where a lot of that hop character would have faded, I don't think. But I could be wrong. All right, I mean, it smells pretty good. Some nice small character, a little bit of the piney hop and grapefruit and orange citrus notes. That's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers, guys. The pininess is coming through on the palate, although it's not overbearing. It does have a nice malty center, some nice bread notes in the middle of the sip, some white bread crust, maybe slightly toasty with some caramel notes in there as well. The 6% alcohol is masked exceptionally well. I would not have guessed that this is 65 IBUs. It does have some nice hop character, but it's not overpowering. The bitterness is not lingering on the inside of my mouth. It drops off really quickly. I actually really like this beer because it's not what they say it is on the label. On the label, it says classic West Coast IPA, intense pine and citrus with a deep gold color and slight caramel sweetness. I am getting the slight caramel sweetness. I am getting some pine and citrus notes, but definitely not an intense pine. And the citrus is in the background. It's definitely not up front. So it's very muted compared to most of the West Coast IPAs that I've had, which I consider to be borderline palate wreckers, one and done. With this one, I could drink 2 or 3 of these no problem because it's actually pretty well balanced between the malt and the hops. The alcohol's masked well. It's got some nice sweetness, breadiness. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be based on the label, which is a good thing for me, but for the style, it definitely falls a little bit short, especially considering the fact that this is their 40th anniversary beer. You'd think that they'd really want to, like, blow you away with the hops, and that's not at all what they're doing. But it is a very nicely balanced beer. For my personal preference, I would probably give it an A, but because it is a West Coast style IPA and it's lacking hop character and it's just kind of pretty mellow across the board without any real bite on the finish with the bitterness, it's got to be dropped down into the B range. So I'm just going to go right down the middle and say that it's an 85, a solid B beer. If you're expecting a really intense West Coast IPA, this is not one of them. But if you want a more balanced, a little bit more malt character, less on the piney, more on the malt, more on the bready notes, and just a touch of fruit in the background, then yeah, this is for you. The body is light. I don't know if I mentioned that. Carbonation is light, almost medium, and it's a crisp, clean, refreshing beer. So it's really a winner. It's just not what they say it is. So 85 out of 100 for the Sierra Nevada 40 Hoppy Anniversary Ale. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. I hope you're all having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.